My name is Jessielaine Punongbayan.
And I'm Richelle and Craw, and we're software engineers from Broadcom.
Yes, and today we're going to talk about COBOL and the modern mainframe movement. So, open source tooling dominates app development. And you can see it in Git, Jenkins, and Visual Studio Code that open source tools are everywhere. And today we're going to discuss about COBOL and how it fits in the open source world. So COBOL has been around for 60 years and it's been used by enterprises all over the world. But how is it coping up with the modern times and most especially the modern technology that we have today?
Yes, and for our career history, we were in this COBOL journey since the very beginning. So we started off as programmer trainees in a local bank in the Philippines. And that's where we learned about COBOL and the mainframe and how it is used in the banking industry. So we became mainframe application developers and we are using all the time COBOL, Kix, JCL, different OS starting from OS 390 and then moving to MVS. After that, we were hired as COBOL consultants in Singapore, and that's where our knowledge grew to ZOS, DB2, MQ, and how the European banking system works. And that's really our first
Modern interface experience.
and that's really our first real experience using modern web services to view batch schedules and COBOL programs aside from just pure 3270 screens.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we switched gears and then we moved to system operations. So this is now the another perspective from the mainframe world, which is from the back from being application developers. Now we're in the back end supporting the day-to-day batch processes. So I was dealing mostly with Tivoli batch scheduler to schedule these batch streams at night, and you were dealing with Jest2, Jest3, IPLs, and of course 24/7 support, variant commands, TSO, MVS commands. And it wasn't until we moved to the Zowe project in Broadcom that we really learned about ZSMF, Zoe, and all of these other modern languages that you can actually use to interface with the mainframe, like TypeScript and Python, Angular, all of these new modern languages compared to COBOL.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we first realized that there is actually more to mainframe.
Yeah, I agree. But before we go on through all of this modernization stuff, let's start off from the very beginning. Let's start off with COBOL. What is COBOL? So COBOL is a business-oriented language, and it is a compiled English-like computer programming language designed for business use. And it is primarily used in businesses all over the world, mostly financial industries, administrative systems, and the government as well. And COBOL, to make it into a simple description, it is responsible for the day-to-day operation of the world's economy.
Exactly, and that's why we should care about COBOL, because COBOL is everywhere. So if you have probably used an application written in COBOL just today, for example. So if you withdrew your money from an ATM, COBOL program is most probably called.
Mm-hmm.
So if you apply for a loan, another COBOL program is called. If you do any in-person transaction or deposit a check, it's another COBOL program. So it goes to show that COBOL is everywhere. About 95% of ATM swipes use COBOL code, and COBOL powers 80% of in-person transactions.
Exactly. That's how powerful COBOL is. So you can see that COBOL is really powerful. Like you see it every day. And if you check it recently, last month, the IEE Spectrum released an article and it says that COBOL is top 7 in the top programming languages of 2020. According to their Twitter metrics, it's like top 7 and they call it a pandemic bump. And this is due to the fact that, earlier this year, the New Jersey government in the US called for COBOL volunteers to help fix their unemployment system. And this just actually goes to show that COBOL is very much important, and it is widely used. And if you check this image that we have here, you can see that, when they depict COBOL, they're gonna call it a half-century old computer language. And you can see these two guys, like, super old, black and white picture. But today, if you check mainframe, you check COBOL, it doesn't look like this. And mainframe looks like this today. I'm gonna change this picture. And this is how mainframe looks like.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because of this pandemic, there became a high interest in learning this language, this 50-year-old language. So OpenMainframe created this free course for those learners, and IBM provided the system where you can practice coding and or relearn COBOL just using modern mainframe tooling. So because of this, it attracted developers from different levels, whether
Exactly.
we saw retired people trying to relearn this language, or a lot of new graduates as well, or just even us, like experienced mainframers. And I think what I really liked about this community is it's became a community of people who are really helping each other out. And you became involved in this course, right?
Yes. So I am part of the TLC, or the core leadership of the COBOL programming course. And I help there as well by creating this COBOL challenges, like simple COBOL challenges, so that when you finish learning about COBOL, you can enhance it more by creating this real life challenges. So I have this reporting program, or creating a COBOL program that reports the COVID-19 results, and as well as creating as well, like, a simple application for the unemployment claims, like the previous data for, like, previous years. So I did help in that. And what I like about this course is that it gives you first an access to mainframe, and as well as an access to this modern tooling that we have today. And it's actually a glimpse of what it is like to have this modern mainframe experience.
Can you talk about the Slack experience?
So, yes. So, the Open Mainframe project for the COBOL programming course has the Slack channel. And the Slack channel is consists of this community, what you have said earlier, community of developers in different levels. Like, if there's some people who are, like, from retirement, they want to learn COBOL again, they want to refresh their memory about it, or like us, there are experienced developers there who is searching for modern toolings, they want to try it out, and there are new developers there as well who wants to learn about mainframe and COBOL programming. And so that community is very diverse, and it's a very friendly community where we are helping each other learn more about COBOL and mainframe.
So you talked about how this new course is providing modern mainframe access to modern mainframe tooling. So what is for you modern mainframe?
That's a good question. I mean, let's have this let's define modern mainframe based on what I think it is. So for me, modern mainframe simply means allowing modern technology to communicate or integrate with mainframe. So creating modern application and making it one with mainframe itself. And Open Mainframe project, which is part of the Linux Foundation, is a project that makes mainframe open. And one goal is to make this mainframe toolset or modern tooling available for the community, for the mainframe community to try out. And there are lots of projects under Open Mainframe project, and one of this toolset is called Zowe, and we're gonna talk about it in this session.
So what is Zowe?
Yes, exactly. What is Zowe?
Zowe is an open source project under Open Mainframe project, which offers this modern interfaces to interact with the ZOS. So it really allows you to interact and talk with ZOS in a way that's similar to what you experience on cloud platforms today. It helps young developers to interact and work with the mainframe using development tools that they already know, and as well as allowing other mainframe users to automate their tasks around the mainframe.
Mm-hmm. It is basically a modern solution for modern mainframe developers.
Exactly.
And there are lots of questions like, what is a modern mainframe? What does she look like?
Mm-hmm.
And we can imagine it. So if we close our eyes, we're gonna imagine what does the modern mainframer look like and what does she do. So this is how a modern mainframer looks like. She is in her computer and she knows a lot of modern tooling such as Python. She knows maybe Jenkins, Circle CI, Gulp, Mocha. She uses VS Code as her editor, and she uses GitHub as her source management. And then as well as she uses cloud platform like AWS or maybe Firebase to have this database. But then she uses Zowe as this bridge, or rather we could call it a modern mainframe bridge to connect to mainframe. And she uses Zowe CLI, she uses the Zowe APIs to call and do some mainframe processing and integrate it to the modern tools that she is using or she is familiar with. But how is she able to do that? What are the things that Zowe has? What are the components that Zowe is offering?
So this is a high-level overview of what Zowe looks like today. So Zowe provides different kinds of tools such as the web browser, the mobile application, Zowe Explorer VS Code extension, as well as the Zowe CLI. But their basis is these microservices that are installed on the mainframe, on the system. And so all of these components communicate with the mainframe using ZOS APIs. And what I like about these components is, besides their being open source and free, it's that they are extendable, meaning that it's not limited to what it is today. It is a framework that you can customize and build them and implement them according to your needs, personal or enterprise-wide.
Exactly. So maybe we can show you an example on how, like a basic example on how we are integrating Zowe and COBOL today.
So here I am in my VS Code editor, and I just opened my COBOL programs residing on the mainframe using Zowe Explorer. And as you can see, I have COBOL language support extension installed, which is telling me that I don't have any syntax errors detected in my COBOL programs. And this COBOL language support is part of the Code4Z package from Broadcom, which includes Zowe Explorer and Debugger for Mainframe, along with others. And these are just tools available to help me in my development of COBOL. And what I really like about that is it makes it easier, as well as it allows me to develop in COBOL the same way that I would develop using TypeScript or Python, because it has this additional tools like syntax highlighting and COBOL linting, for example. This COBOL language support has knowledge of COBOL keywords, COBOL variables, COBOL paragraphs. It even has good copybook support, for example, which is very helpful when you're developing in COBOL. And another thing that I really like is that it when I just start typing, it will give me COBOL snippet examples. So I know that what is expected of me. So here I'm making some typo, and it noticed that divisions is incorrect keyword and division is the correct keyword for me. It will also check for me that if I've exceeded the fixed format length that is expected for this language. And if I save this file now, it will automatically save it on the mainframe, so then I can continue my development at 3270 or some other tool and vice versa. So it's synced because I was able to successfully upload it on the mainframe.
So today I'm going to show you how to use Zowe Explorer. And in here, we need to have a profile to connect to our mainframe. And similar to what we do in 3270, we search for the dataset that we want to use, and I wanted to check out my COBOL program. So I opened my COBOL library, and here I'm checking my program, and similar to what I do, I wanted to have a display and want to test this, and so I'm gonna open the GCL that will execute this program. And in Zoe Explorer, the way that we execute a job is that we're just gonna do a right click and then hit submit job. And automatically it will fire an API to submit the job. You can click the job ID to check the output of this submission, and it will automatically download everything for you. And that's it.
So after that, you have this glimpse of how Zoe works and how COBOL and Zoe works together. But there are other examples as well. Like if you want to integrate modern tools, maybe you want to integrate another programming language. In here, I am showing that, I can use TypeScript to do a different function and then use Zoe CLI to connect to mainframe and then process it in mainframe. Or in here, I am showing here that I can build a continuous integration. Maybe it's a personal use, like if you want your unit testing and you're just gonna click build, you can use Zoe to communicate to mainframe and have your build stored in Circle CI or maybe Jenkins or maybe other continuous integration tool that you have in your company. And lastly, if you want to do more, you can create your own application. Here we created a mobile application where it accesses the jobs pool and lets you submit the job, edit the job, delete or cancel anything through the mobile application. And if you see all of these things, connecting or integrating mainframe to modern toolset creates a lot of possibilities. Technically, the possibilities are endless. And honestly, if you want to know more, I am inviting you to join us in our next session, Keeping Up with the Times, Adopting Zoe as a Modern Mainframe Developer. In this session, we are going to deep dive on how an experienced mainframer such as us can integrate Zoe into their day-to-day activities.
So, to summarize it all, here are my key takeaways. So, as we showed earlier, if you're an experienced mainframer, this is still the same COBOL and the same JCL experience that you are familiar with. And you're just really incorporating modern toolsets in your development. It's just another choice of tools that you can use. And if you are a new mainframer, you can use these modern tools that you're familiar with and just incorporate mainframe access with it. It's just another server. COBOL is just another language, and mainframe is just another platform.
Exactly. And through this modern tools such as Zoe and OpenMainframe project, we became learners. All of us, whatever level you are in, we are all learners and we are learning from each other. And I think that makes us a great community because we're helping each other out based on the knowledge that we have. And one thing that we want to point out that everything that we have shown here are either an open source product or free to download. So you can definitely try it out. So one great key takeaway that I have here is that if you combine the modern technology and mainframe technology, you can actually create endless of possibilities and a one big powerful platform.
Yep. So, as you said, the next steps would be just to try it out. It's free, and there's a great community that is willing to help, and so you can share what you've learned or what you've experienced. And at the same time, if you are a more experienced mainframe developer, you can contribute. You can check out our GitHub repositories and join the Slack community, contribute your knowledge, even just ask questions. That's also another contribution.
Exactly.
And it's all valuable to the community. So if you are interested, we put together a bunch of links as references here.
So lastly, if you are not an individual contributor and you're looking for an enterprise solution, Broadcom can help you get started. There are design thinking workshop, environment preparation, hands-on workshop, DevOps proof of concept, just let us know what you need and we can help.
Yeah. Great.
And yeah, and that's it for our talk. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on our next session.